Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. That is if you've been here before. If you haven't, welcome and thank you for stopping by. My usual little backstory and spiel as to why I am making YouTube videos. So my name is Sharon, I am 62 years old, and just over 2 years ago I made a life-changing decision which was for the better in lots of ways, but not for financial reasons. So I am now living in a rented property. I work, I have to pay my bills like everybody else. And I am not on a great income, probably only a little bit over minimum wage. And I have all the same bills to pay as everybody else: rent, council tax, energy, etc, etc. So I've been living on a tight budget and a low income for the last couple of years, and YouTube was something I've wanted to do for an awful long time. And finally took the plunge, thinking I needed a camera and expensive equipment and to learn new skills. And then finally, I think it was about the end of Feb, something like that, I literally just picked up my phone and did a tour of my living room and just got on with it. And here we are a little while later. So thank you for everybody who has liked a video, who has commented. I've had some wonderful comments, some very supportive comments, some comments with some fabulous tips and things that I hadn't thought of. And I appreciate all of them. And certainly for anybody who has subscribed, it's amazing to think that there are people actually taking the time to listen to my ramblings about money or to watch something that I might be cooking. So I really, really do appreciate it. And I know that back on Friday, the 28th of Feb, I had 36 subscribers and I was over the moon. And then a week later, the following Friday, I had 113 and I was absolutely blown away with that. Yeah, I'm just amazed that people want to sit and watch an overweight old woman talk about money and how she's coping with life. But it seems that a lot of us are in the same position, no matter what age we are. And if I'm cooking something, I always make reference to if you're cooking for a family as well as if you're just cooking for yourself or a couple of people. So hopefully there's been plenty of stuff to help you guys. But anyway, I just wanted to have a little money chat and a bit of a catch up about a few subjects, and some of them are purely because I might have had a comment about something and it's made me think, oh yeah, I should maybe talk about that a little bit more. So I've got some notes which I will be referring to. So the first thing, I don't know why I've written this down, and I should have perhaps got this ready. So I have until my next food shopping cycle starts after payday. Oh, I thought I had £9 left on my Sainsbury's, because I buy £100 Sainsbury's gift card via Top Cashback to get £2 cashback. I thought I had £9.14 left on there. I have 361. 361. Oh, that's not quite so good, is it? I hadn't read that properly. So I was thinking, yeah, I only need a few bits this week. Still got plenty in the freezer. So I'm fine for dinners, but it will be milk, potatoes, that kind of thing. And I think Aldi should actually reopen this week, but I can't use that gift card in Aldi. But of course, we'll get through. We don't need much. We've got plenty of dinners and I've got to do my meal plan for the week later. But there's plenty in the freezer. It will just be for those fresh bits, as I say. So yeah. Am I going to go over budget this month? I think it was £5 something last month. It looks as if it could be a similar scenario again, but on the whole, I'm quite pleased with that. So that's what we've got left there. Another thing I've been thinking about is, of course, I've gone over my sinking funds on here before. So whether you have sinking funds at all, if you don't, but it's something you think you might like to delve into, I would personally highly recommend sinking funds. I was doing sinking funds before I was in this financial position. And had I not have been doing that, I would not have had my furniture sinking fund for when I did move out and move into this house. And I've mentioned that in previous videos I had about £1,000 and what that bought me, what I was able to buy brand new. So the other sinking fund that I've really been thinking about that I need to start adding an extra pot. So whether you've got digital pots in a bank account, whether a lot of people cash stuff envelopes, a lot of people would just have a certain amount of disposable income that they live on for the month in a separate purse or some cash. I like to do zero-based budgeting, so every single penny that comes in has a job to do and will be allocated somewhere on the day that I get paid. Well, usually I'll try and do it on the day I get paid. But I'm thinking that I really need to do a sinking fund for new glasses, because how else am I going to pay for them? And I am desperate for new glasses. So I'm way over my 2-year eye test, which I believe now will be free due to my age. But of course the glasses won't be. So we shall see. Going to start a sinking fund for glasses, and I am going to possibly look at getting my glasses when the time comes from Asda. Now, there isn't an Asda Opticians near me at all, but I think it's going to be worth making the journey to see if I can get somebody to take me to the nearest one, which will be quite a way away. But a friend of mine, she's also recently started a YouTube channel. I will pop a link down to it below. It's very much, if you're into charity shop hauls, she is the queen of charity shopping. I may be the queen of yellow stickers, or she says that I am, and some of my other friends do too. But she's definitely the queen of charity shopping. So do go and give her a follow. And also she's been adopting sort of an intentional spending thing for 2025, which has been interesting and also inspiring to me. Her name is also Sharon. We've been friends for quite a few years, but I will drop a link to her channel in the description box below. And do go give Sharon a check out if those are the kinds of things that you're into. But it was Sharon that alerted me to the fact that she gets her glasses from Asda. And I can't remember what she said she paid for her last pair, but it was a really good price. So we definitely need to start thinking about glasses. So today, for example, I mean, to be honest, I've hardly got any eyelashes left since menopause. But I do always wear mascara. I don't think I've got any bottom lashes left at all now. And the top lashes are really short and they're quite sparse as well. I know, of course, you can buy various things to coat your lashes with at night that are supposed to encourage lash growth, but that's just another expense really, isn't it? But I've had really, really runny eyes for quite some time now. One of my friends said, oh, that can be the first sign of glaucoma. But I'd already Googled it and it did mention something called dry eye, which I'd heard of but didn't really know what the symptoms were. So it possibly could be one of those two things. And on that basis, we need an eye test. We need to find out for sure. But I've laid off mascara for probably the last 4 days and the eye watering has improved dramatically. So I'm not really sure about that because I've used all different mascara brands over however long this has been going on for, but it really is annoying when I'm working because I'm working on a laptop the whole time, and sometimes to read things I've got to be dabbing my runny eyes to sort of focus properly. So it's definitely something that needs to be sorted. So I really do need to, this month when I do my sinking funds, start allocating some money for some new glasses, that's for sure. Next thing I wanted to talk about was emergency fund. Or perhaps I should call it not an emergency fund, because I've already got an emergency fund, but I think I should also start a pot for house. And I'll tell you the reason why. My landlord mentioned when I signed my last yearly contract for this property about a possible increase in rent next January. And I am already thinking to myself, what am I going to do if that happens? I'm not prepared, and I need to be, because can I really afford to stay in this property if the rent goes up? And the answer to that is probably no. Because if the landlord was to put the rent up, say by £100 a month, or even two, which could be a possibility, I just don't know, it would mean that my salary hasn't gone up. We did get a small pay rise, which will, I should be able to notice that in my next wage actually, but it's not going to be that amount of money. So I really don't know what the future holds for me when it comes to where I'm going to live. And I think that's the awful thing for anybody who is renting. Lots of people, you know, absolutely rave about it because, you know, if your boiler breaks, it's not your responsibility to pay for it and that kind of thing. But for me, yeah, I kind of don't really like that, not knowing what's going to happen. And I know, of course, mortgages go up and go down, but it just kind of like feels different. And I've been trying to put it at the back of my mind because I signed my new contract at the end of January. But, you know, I'm almost 2 months past that now. And it's only now that I've started thinking about it in recent weeks and thinking, what am I actually going to do? Because I do get this house for a good price. The landlord is a friend of mine's father. And if it hadn't have been for them, I would not have this property. I had, in the year before I did actually move, I had applied for a couple of flats, which didn't come to anything. And I think with so many young people not being able to get mortgages, if landlords can have two people and two salaries looking to rent a flat, because it might be a young couple just starting to live together, I think they're going to take that option over somebody who's just on their own with one income. So yeah, I didn't have any joy with the flats that I'd applied for. And the reality is, if I couldn't afford to stay here for the rent that I'm paying on this property, I would only be able to get a flat. This house does have a very small garden. I've got a conservatory, so that means the garden is really small. It's not much bigger than a postage stamp, but you know what? That's all I need. It kills my back to cut the grass as it is, so I wouldn't want anything bigger, but I really, really appreciate having that outside space. There's nothing nicer than to be able to sit outside with a cup of tea, you know, on a warm afternoon or whenever. I just love having a small garden. But that could all change. And if it does, I need to be prepared for that. Purely because, okay, I'd get my deposit back that I paid. But with any place, as most of you will know, it's not just a deposit. It's also a month's rent in advance. So I really need to start thinking about that and where's that money going to come from. So yeah, a bit of uncertainty that I didn't really want to start thinking about at the moment. But I think we've got to face facts and yeah, really start to think about that going forward. Okay, so next thing to talk about, pensions. So there's been a lot of talk about pensions. Martin Lewis, money saving expert, did a big thing on his program I think it was the week before last, about pensions and how you can buy back lost years and that sort of thing, and urging everybody to have a look at it. I've also listened to a couple of YouTube videos from financial advisors talking about pensions. And although I've not yet checked my forecast, the one thing that I did see on one video that I watched, it said £824, which, say for example, it would cost me or it would cost you, £824 in cost would give you £328 return in year one. So in year one of claiming your state pension, £824 would be worth £328 just in year one. The fact of the matter is, who's got £824? If I've got missing years, which I probably have, I haven't got £824, so got to weigh that up. Just can't do it. Simple as that. Can't do it. Can't buy back any years that there may be gaps, which I'm pretty sure there's going to be. I do need to check my forecast. I haven't done that as yet, but I will let you know when I do that. But the other thing that I've done when it comes to pensions was thinking about, do I have any pensions from previous jobs that I have forgotten about? So I've done a track and trace thing. And I did it, not with Pension B, which you see advertised an awful lot. I did it with Aviva. And the reason that I did it with Aviva, Pension B wanted the names of the companies that the pensions were with. Well, I didn't have that knowledge. And with Aviva, you only had to put down all your previous addresses, all your previous names, and the company that you worked for that you thought you might have a pension with. So theirs was much, much easier to do. And the good thing is, my current pension with my current employer is with Aviva. So I thought, well, if there's anything to kind of like marry it all up together, if need be, then at least that's all kind of already in the right place. Anyway, so I gave them all of that information, and I heard back all quite quickly about it all. Now, I had a job that I lost in COVID, so I was actually only employed for a year with this particular company, but I was pretty sure that I had a pension with them. And I was right, I did. And Aviva gave me all the information. I phoned up the company, and that pension obviously is invested in stocks and shares, the chap said to me on the phone. So it can go up or down, and it was worth just over £500. Now, that's not to be sniffed at, of course. I haven't made a decision as to what to do with that at the moment, but I know that that is sitting there. I could take it out because obviously I'm 62, and that pension would have been probably, yeah, for people that retired at 60. I'm guessing most pensions for women that are from years ago would do that. There was only one other, and that said that I had already had the funds. Well, I'm not aware of that. So I've got a phone number for that company, which Aviva have given me. So I need to get in touch with them and just say, you know, they've recognised I had a pension with them. I just want to say, when did I have that money? Because I have no recollection of that. So there's that one to find out about as well. And then, like I say, with my current job, I've been employed with them for 3 years currently. That pension is with Aviva. So yeah, not sure the value of that. Just had a letter come yesterday. So I have actually, because obviously I can see it on my wage slips, how much my employer's paying, how much I'm paying. And then I got the actual policy number come through from them yesterday because I hadn't updated. They now got my address. They've still got my previous address. So there's lots to think about in regard to pensions for me. But I don't think buying back lost years is going to be one of them because, yeah, if that's the kind of figures that we're talking about, then I haven't got that kind of money. And if I did have, should that be in a fund ready in case I have to move from this property? We shall see. Pray to God that doesn't happen, but we don't know. In other news, I feel like a newsreader today actually, Nationwide are paying out £50 to some of their customers. I've looked at some of the criteria and I should be in line for that £50. However, that is a joint account that my brother and I had together. So for the sale of my mum's property when she went into residential care, my mum didn't have a bank account, so she had like a pension card that she used to get her money out on. My mum had never had a bank account. Can you believe that? No matter how much you told her to, she kind of didn't need one because you had a pension card and then you went and got your money out on that. But anyway, the upshot was once the property was sold, there needed to be an account for the money to go into. My brother and I were both joint power of attorney, and we used to pay the care home out of that. And it was a Nationwide account. And the reason we did Nationwide was my brother was already with them. And although I don't use them, I have still got active accounts with Nationwide myself. So that's why we did it with Nationwide. But looking at the terms and conditions, if you had £100 in your account in October 23, which we did, we should be in line for that. So I think they just pay you automatically. And I'm guessing it will just be £50 for the one account. I can't imagine we'd get two lots of £50. So I don't know if my brother knows about it, but who knows? Can I get that 50 quid and have it all to myself? We shall see, time will tell. But yeah, so if you're with Nationwide or you've had accounts previously, do check out the terms and conditions to see if you qualify. And they say they're just going to pay it into that account by the 30th of April, I think it is. So bear that in mind. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was just to kind of like let you guys know, in case you were wondering, because when I hear other people on their videos talk about sinking funds, maybe for cars, services, repairs, even car loans, etc., I don't have a car. And quite frankly, if I did, I probably would have had to have sold it, because in my financial position, there is absolutely no way I could afford to run a car. And I'm going to do a video at some point in the future, probably after payday, to let you know how much disposable income I live on for the month and the amount that I put into the sinking funds. And you may be surprised, because when I hear what other people have to live on and the very small amount that I live on, I'm like, wow, yeah, it's not a lot, folks. It's not a lot. And it honestly, if I had a car, I just could not afford to run one, let alone everything else that goes alongside having a car. But then, of course, I've got rent to pay. So it swings and roundabouts with everybody, isn't it? Everybody's position is completely different. And at the moment, the only thing I don't have any savings at all. An emergency fund, yes, for things that crop up, but savings for long term, no, I don't. So again, something else that I need to think about. So I wanted to let you guys know that I don't have the expense of a vehicle. Also, Sky increases. I mentioned in a previous video that I've got two separate bills with Sky. One is my Sky Glass TV, because I didn't have the money to buy a TV when I moved in. I got the Sky Glass, which I think is £13 a month. So that comes with the TV package per se. And then the other package is my phone line and my broadband. One's going up by £3 a month, one by £4. So a total of £7 per month to pay out extra from April. And of course, I did have a comment when I mentioned this previously about haggling with Sky. And of course, I have done that many times. In my previous house, we'd had Sky for almost 20 years. And again, the same thing, not a Sky Glass TV, but a phone line and broadband package, and then the Sky box, and the package, whatever we had there. And many a time, every couple of years when the end of contract came up, I would ring Sky, haggle them down, and I always had the leverage that I'd been with them for a long time. It's probably now at that house. We moved into that house in 2004. There's probably 21 years now Sky's been at that property. And that's why I chose Sky when I moved in here, purely because they were always so reliable. I'd never had any issues with my broadband or Wi-Fi or anything like that previously. And of course, working from home, you need a good connection. I need Wi-Fi all the time. So yeah, basically that's why I opted for Sky. And yes, at some point in the future, just to purely address that comment, I will give them a call. And God, aren't you on the phone forever? Used to be about an hour. I think at the moment for £7, I'm probably not going to, but definitely something that I will not dismiss for future, because I would definitely, you know, kind of ring them up and try and haggle it down if it were to go up much more. We shall see. So that's the Sky increases. Somebody else, a comment that I received also about using Sainsbury's as a supermarket. So that might be a little bit clearer now. I've explained that I don't drive, so my options are limited to what is close by me. And 8 minutes walk in one direction, I've got Sainsbury's, which is right near the town. So if I'm going to the high street for certain things, obviously that is the route that I come and go. I have to walk past Sainsbury's to get into the high street. And Aldi is in a different direction. Again, it's exactly an 8 minute walk. And that would be the supermarket that I would be close to if, for example, I was going to the doctor's surgery. So I also have previously mentioned in other videos that Aldi near me has been shut for refurbishment. They've extended the store, and I believe that is due. I think I can remember that it was the 15th of March. So that could well have reopened today or yesterday. So yeah, possibly I need to check that out. Now, I find obviously Sainsbury's, when they do these supermarkets, you know, who comes out of the cheapest supermarket? I mean, it's always Aldi or Lidl, isn't it? For certain items that they choose to fill a basket with and compare the prices, or a trolley. And fair enough. But of course, we don't always buy those things in our weekly shop. I mean, certainly milk and things like that will be cheaper at Aldi. I've always tried to get my organic milk from there if possible. That's for sure, because there's probably round about a 30 or 40p difference in price. But yeah, we shall see. Hopefully that's open and we can start getting some Aldi shopping again, which will hopefully help with the food budget. So hopefully that will be open soon. And bear in mind also with Nectar prices and the price matches that Sainsbury's do for Aldi, you know, you do still get some good deals for sure. And I think it's much of a muchness. I don't think there's much in it when it comes to Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Morrison's. I don't think there's a lot in it, to be honest with you. But yeah, just wanted to address that I will be back getting some shopping from Aldi once that is open. Another little thing I did, I had some sort of reminder, I can't remember if it was a text message or an email, about putting my date of birth on my Marks and Spencer's app for my Sparks card to get a birthday freebie. Didn't realise I hadn't put my date of birth on there, but apparently I hadn't. So I've now updated my date of birth. Sadly, my birthday's December, so it's going to be a while before I get a freebie. But just to keep an eye on all of your apps, I know, for example, if you've got the Greg's app, I think you get something free, a free coffee on your birthday. You get lots of birthday freebies. So make sure that all the apps you've got that require your date of birth, make sure you've got that in, just in case it pops up with a freebie. And of course, check them regularly. Because, yeah, for example, on the M&S, on the Sparks, they're always offering, you know, 20% off of women's tops or knitwear or something. So if you are buying something, then yeah, it's good to always keep an eye on your apps to see what they are offering. Another thing to cover, mobile phone. Again, I mentioned that my contract was coming to an end in May, and that then I would be SIM only, but staying with the same company that I'm currently with. And I did say that when I'd done that before, I was paying £20 a month. And of course, I did receive some comments. And like I said, I'm grateful for all of them. And lots of you give me great ideas as well, which, yeah, I'm so grateful for. But of course, I am aware that you can get SIM only offers much cheaper. But my big concern with that, when I did it before and the phone broke, I was then able to just ring them up and say, I now need a new phone. So I stayed with the same company and then got a contract. And I've got, although I'm paying £60 a month, the thing that I really like with mine, you got a choice of 3 things that you could have for free. And I opted for the overseas roaming, because mobile phones when you're overseas can cost a fair bit of money. If you're in a location where you've got Wi-Fi and you're using WhatsApp to make phone calls home or whatever, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I get the free roaming, so it doesn't cost me any more. It just comes out of all of my allowances for texts and phone calls, etc. So that's quite good, but we shall see going forward. But yeah, my big concern with being SIM only is I haven't got the money to buy a phone, so I'm probably going to stay with EE on that basis. And if I can get my bill down to £20 a month from like 60, I'm going to be well chuffed with that, because then I need to think about what can I do with that 40 quid. You know, that can go into possibly the glasses sinking fund, or, you know, a house sinking fund. Like I said, who knows what's going to happen with this rented property in future. So that will give me a little bit of extra money that I can play with and save. And then the last thing to update you on, finally, a vintage sale. Now, I was super lazy in January. I didn't put anything up for sale. I felt that I'd missed the boat on winter coats, of which I have a lot. So I went in February with jackets, and I've only sold one, £15. And my God, I didn't even think I was going to get the money from that, because it took the woman so long to actually pick the parcel up. I thought they're going to end up sending it back to me. Don't know what's going to happen here. But eventually it got picked up only about 2 days ago. So finally, £15 in the Vinted account. Summer, I don't think will be so much of a problem, because previous summers when I've been selling summer dresses, because I'm a massive summer dress person, it's pretty much all I wear. And I have got so many summer dresses, and most of them are M&S, Next, Monsoon. Those are the kinds of brands that I used to buy previously, and they always sold really well for me. So the last 2 summers I've had really good sales on Vinted with summer dresses. So we'll see how that goes. I normally tend to bundle things up, so I might go, for example, through my summer shoes first and do a batch of sandals or summer shoes that I'm going to get rid of, and then a batch of dresses maybe the following month, and try and sort of set myself a goal of maybe uploading 10 things per month. So it will soon be spring, so I'm going to start sorting those out, and that will also mean decluttering. Honest to God, I would dread to tell you how many dresses I must have upstairs. And probably at least 50% don't fit anymore. So, and some of them will be lovely, and I'll be loath to get rid of them, because, you know, you always think one day one day I'm hoping to fit back into that dress, but the sad reality is I'm probably not going to. So yeah, I can't skinny jab myself up. I don't have the money for the skinny jab. I've got an underactive thyroid. I'm on medication for that. I've got to make an appointment for a blood test for that, actually, just to check that I'm still on the right milligram for whatever my blood test comes out. But yeah, I'd like them to up it a bit, maybe get the metabolism working a bit faster, because I haven't piled the weight on from eating any more than I used to. I felt a certain amount of it came with menopause, and then, yeah, just got worse. So, and that again is another reason why I appreciate everybody stopping by, commenting, subscribing. It means so much, because who wants to sit and listen to me talking about money? You know, there you go. But I'm grateful that you do. And I think, like most people in my position, and I've heard other YouTubers say it as well, I think once you start doing something like this, it definitely feels like it holds me accountable, as it does the other YouTubers that say the same thing. It helps to keep us accountable. For that, I'm truly grateful. So I shall hop off now, because we're on 36 minutes. It will take forever to upload this video. It goes straight up. I have no editing skills. I have no clue. We just throw it out there and see what happens. Like throwing a bit of spaghetti at the wall to see if it's cooked or not, isn't it? I don't do that, but I know people that have done in the past. But there we go. We throw a video out there. We see if it sticks, and we hope for the best. So have a lovely day, whatever it is you're doing today. Again, a huge thank you for subscribing, for commenting, for liking. Every single one of those things is greatly appreciated. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And I'm off to do my menu plan for the week, and also to finally eat the turkey and leek pie I made a couple of days after Christmas. That is out the freezer defrosting, finally getting eaten. And it's one of my favourite things to eat. So why I've not eaten it before now, I don't know. But that is for dinner today. So take care, guys. Thank you all so much. Bye.